Hello, and welcome to a Power Reviews and Registria webinar titled Top Ways to Generate and Leverage Ratings and Reviews. My name is Natalie Mock, the Marketing Events Manager at Power Reviews, and I'll be hosting today's webinar. Before we get started, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items. During today's session, the audience will be in listen-only mode. To submit any questions, please utilize the Q&A panel feature in the lower right-hand corner of your WebEx screen. Feel free to ask any questions throughout the webinar, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. If you would like to revisit the presentation or share it with a colleague, an archive of this webinar will be sent to you. It will also be on the Power Reviews website within the next couple of days. Before we kick off the webinar, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our speakers today. We have Dave Monroe, Director of Marketing Services at Registria. He's been in the email and digital marketing space for 17 years and has helped Registria clients make the most of their customer data through digital marketing campaigns. We also have Matt Parsons here with us today, Chief Customer Officer at Power Reviews. Matt's primary focus is client satisfaction and has over 20 years of client service experience managing client success, software implementation, technical support, and sales operations. During the webinar, Dave will review best practices in growing a customer database with super buyers and how to engage with them real time. And then Matt will highlight the importance and impact of product reviews and the best ways to generate and leveraging them. And with that, I will turn it over to Dave.
Allowing our clients to leverage their registration data to really identify who their customers are and then effectively market to them. As our name implies, we specialize in product registration and do that through not only traditional channels such as paper and web, but also through Photo Register, which is our flagship mobile solution. Companies often overlook registrations as a customer contact point, which doesn't make much sense when you think about it. It's the first touch point or interaction that you're going to have with your customer post-purchase. And if you don't have a pre-purchase strategy in place, it can be your very first interaction. In addition, if you manage it properly, you can keep customers in the journey for cross and upsell opportunities, among other engagement strategies. Registria pioneered product registration with brands in order to collect customer data. So we have a ton of registration data going back, some of it 30 years. However, we really started to see a shift around 2005. As you can see on the slide, it illustrates both the increase in overall registration rates over time, the plus 375% there, but also the transition from paper to web, and last year really moving to mobile as a registration channel. Another number to note is the increasing completion rates themselves, which we attribute to making the overall registration process quicker, easier, and more streamlined. Let's talk about super buyers and what a super buyer is. Basically, it's the top 5% of all consumers in the U.S., and they purchase a lot of stuff, for lack of a better definition. In 2015, we took 100 of our brands and overlaid them with data logics. What we found was that people who register their products over-indexed by about 2.5x, meaning they're about 2.5 times as likely to be super buyers than customers that do not register their products. So clearly, this is a very valuable audience, and if you're not currently marketing to them, you should consider doing so. In 2015, we also saw an evolution in product registration channel from paper to web to mobile, but we've also seen a shift in who is registering the products. And as you can see, the largest changes here are in gender, income, and again, channel moving to mobile. Looking at mobile specifically, these numbers are kind of hard to read, so you don't need to totally digest it, but the x-axis is age and the y-axis is percentage of registrants. But if you just look at the overall shape of the charts themselves, moving from right to left, you can see that there's a downward shift in age, yet income stays relatively the same. So the median age has dropped by almost 20 years. That's a huge demographic shift, and marketers should be really cognizant about that when you're crafting your engagement strategies. What we really like to hammer home here is the speed to engagement, and that's the immediacy of the digital registration channels, specifically web and mobile. Streamlined and efficient registration experience enables you to seamlessly engage your customers right away, as opposed to traditional channels that can take up to 5 weeks like paper does. You can see there that the longer it drags on, the less effective your strategy is. All right, so hopefully I've sold you on the value of increasing your product registrations, and you've done so. Now you have all this registration data. What do you do with it? There's several highly recommended engagement programs. One of these, of course, is ratings and reviews. We think it's important. Actually, we think it's critical. And shoppers are going to trust the opinions of buyers who've actually purchased that product over any marketing communications. And I think Matt calls that the new word of mouth, which he'll get to in a minute. So here's a case study or an example that we helped 2 of our clients with. They're large appliance manufacturers. We helped them enhance the ratings and reviews program. Doing so increased not only their total number of reviews, but also their average star rating, as you can see there. We did this through customized email programs that drove the customer to a model-specific registration and review page, which was pre-populated with the data we collected to make it easy as possible for them to convert and complete a review. And we also followed up with a reminder email if they didn't follow through and complete the review. So with that, I will turn it over to Matt.
Great. Thanks, Dave. It's great to have Registria as a partner, and as you've shared, we've delivered tremendous value to our joint customers who are leveraging their registration data to generate product reviews. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time just going into a little bit deeper learning around how leading retailers and brands are successfully generating and leveraging ratings and reviews to increase in conversion, similar to what we just, like with what Dave just shared, leveraging registration data, but also leveraging direct purchase data. But before we begin, let's just do a quick refresher on the importance of reviews. As numerous studies show, consumers expect to see product reviews on your website. Power Reviews surveyed more than 800 consumers in the U.S., and 86% of consumers said that reviews were an essential resource when making purchasing decisions. The full survey is available on PowerReviews.com and summarized in the white paper, Power Reviews Proven Power of Reviews white paper. We also know that consumers seek out brand content, including product reviews from multiple sources. According to the Forrester white paper, Polishing Up Your Products, Why Product Information Management Really Matters, 67% of consumers intending to make a purchase left a site because the retailer didn't provide enough information. Retailers don't always have the best information about your products if you're a brand, but retailer sites are a top place for consumers to begin their buying journey, compared to only about 5% on a brand site. Doesn't mean on your brand site it's not important to have data. In fact, 66% of consumers go to brand sites to validate the information provided by other retailers. Consumers know that brands have the highest quality product and user-generated content, and they'll seek it out even if they don't intend to buy from you. So it's not only important to display your own product review content on your site, but also provide that content on retailer sites to reach consumers no matter where they're shopping. Finally, numerous studies show that product reviews increase conversion and drive traffic, and the more reviews that you have, the better your results will be. Power Reviews reviewed the average and best-in-class conversion and SEO performance across our network and found a 44% increase in conversion on products with 11 or more reviews compared to those without, up to a 20% increase in traffic from SEO for those products with 11 or more reviews, and a 17% average online sales increase site-wide. The full study is available on PowerReviews.com and summarized in the Power Reviews white paper, Quantifying the Value of Reviews. As I've shown, product reviews are a critical component to driving conversion, traffic, and sales. Next, I'm going to share a few ways to generate the most ratings and reviews from your customers. Sending an email after purchase, if you sell direct, or after a customer has registered the product, is the #1 way to collect reviews. In fact, if you look across our network, nearly 70% of the total reviews collected were based on an email sent and customers responding to that email. Since this post-purchase email is the most impactful way to generate reviews from your customers, it's critical to understand how your current program is performing. If you're not sending an email, first, you got to make sure you're sending it. But second, if you are, here are the email average and top 10 percentile benchmarks across our network. Do you know how your email is performing against these? If you haven't audited your email lately, I encourage you to do so. And Power Reviews is happy to help, and we would love it if you reached out, and we're happy to help you do that audit. There are numerous ways to improve your post-purchase follow-up email. One way is to include an incentive for customers to write a review. You'll want to clearly communicate the promotion rules and include the promotion in both the subject line and the body of the follow-up email. We have a number of other post-purchase email best practices, and feel free to contact us. And again, we're happy to audit your current performance and suggest additional best practices. As Dave mentioned earlier, for brands that capture warranty registrations, send a post-purchase follow-up email to those customers to capture reviews. Registria and Power Reviews have partnered to help make that easy for our joint customers. For brands that don't sell direct, this is the best way and the primary way to collect the most content from your customers. And again, you want to make sure that this email is optimized, similar to the post-purchase email I just covered, as far as the subject line, the content, including an incentive, etc. To help Power Reviews customers easily review all of the past purchases, it is critical for you to use a feature similar to review your purchases that are available on Power Reviews. This is a feature that we introduced earlier this year, and I'm really excited about it because similar to the fact that you can send an email and ask someone to come back and write a review is great, but it's even more impactful when you can display all the products that either the customer has registered in the past for or purchased directly from you in the past, and allow them to very quickly rate all of those products. One customer has experienced a 400% increase in content based on this feature. And it displays, again, all the products. It's a quick form, and the form dynamically adjusts so that it's really easy for customers to fill out additional reviews. And you'll see we've seen dramatic results in review completion rates when customers add review your purchase. Not only did the review volumes skyrocket, but the simplified stars and comment form had only a minimal impact on the review length. So we're not sacrificing quantity for review quality. Other ways to collect reviews from your customers include having a write a review link on your receipt or on order invoices or order confirmation pages. Reach out to your active communities on social media and ask them to write a review about a specific product or about a specific set of products. Include review solicitations in product packaging so that when they open up that product, they're prompted to write a review. And finally, ask your employees to write reviews on products they own. But make sure if you do that those reviews are badged from your staff. That's very important to be transparent. Now let's shift to the top ways of leveraging these reviews that we've just discussed collecting. On your site, in addition to displaying reviews on your product detail page, make sure you highlight top products on a top-rated landing page. It's a great way to highlight these products that your customers love. You can obviously even include specific themes or, depending on the time of year, wrap in landing pages with top-rated for specific time of year, like back to school, top-rated for back to school. Make sure that anywhere that you display a product on your site, you're displaying the rating with that product. So in this example, it's on a home page of a customer. It could be on a category page or any other place within the site. And our customers have seen 10 to 20% increase in click-throughs based on having the star rating with, next to the product. And so obviously that's critical to drive customers into the product detail pages. Highlight reviews or the star rating within your recommendation area on the site. And in email marketing. So anytime you send an email and reference a product, highlight the rating. In fact, call out specific comments within the rating itself to really drive engagement from customers and really drive click-through rates. And even in print catalogs, reference the rating so that customers know this is a good product and it drives them to purchase. And finally, as you think about the web and how everything has become so visual, Power Reviews really believes in the visual nature of product reviews and really harnessing that visual nature. When someone writes a review, they can upload an image or a video of them using that product. And we think that that's just really rich content and really helpful to help others identify with that product and see how it's being used. And so one of the things that we believe is really helpful is not only displaying these images that are collected during the reviews at the top of the review form, but also calling out what is a star rating within the image and really being able to highlight that. So in addition to highlighting ratings and reviews to drive traffic, conversion, and sales on your site and in your direct marketing efforts, you want to ensure that you're benefiting from the Power Reviews Open Syndication Network to get the most benefit out of your product reviews. The Power Reviews Open Syndication Network is the largest network of brands and retailers on the Power Reviews platform, using other vendor platforms, and also using their own in-house rating and review solution. Brands benefit from this syndicating their reviews to over 1,200 retailers in the network, increasing their exposure when it matters most at the point of purchase at key retailers. And our retail partners benefit from the additional brand content to drive increased conversion and sales. To illustrate the impact of the Power Reviews Open Syndication Network, one Power Reviews customer, a leading shoe brand, has collected over 65,000 reviews using Power Reviews, and we've helped them syndicate their reviews to more than 5,000 product pages, and that content has been seen by nearly 500,000 users in the last 3 months within our network. That plays a huge impact in driving sales through this brand's retail channels. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Natalie for some Q&A.
Thanks, Matt. Like he said, we'll be opening the webinar to questions. To submit any questions, please utilize the Q&A panel in the lower right-hand corner of your WebEx screen. During the webinar, we had a few that popped in, so let's get to them. The first one is, how is your mobile registration program different than any other mobile registration methods like QR codes or mobile apps? I think, Dave, do you mind taking that?
Absolutely. We actually get that one a lot. So how it differs is QR codes and brand-specific apps require you to actually download something or take additional steps, where photo register is as simple as taking a picture. Everyone who has a smartphone clearly has a camera and knows how to use it, so there's really no additional time or red tape or whatever you want to call it, steps impeding the registration of that product. So I guess the short answer is our solution is quicker and easier to use. And also, if done correctly, we can encode just as much information in that photo register icon than the QR code. So it's just as good and quicker and easier.
Thanks, Dave. The next one that came in was, which best practice has the highest rate of generating content? Matt, can you take that one?
Yeah, sure. You know, because I know I covered quite a few, but I think it's really critical to reemphasize the number one way, the most important way, and that's really to ask your customers to write a review. So as I mentioned before, you know, if you sell direct, you know who made the purchase, and sending an email, you know, typically within 2 to 3 weeks of that purchase, sending an email asking them to come back and write a review is going to drive the most results. Or within, you know, a couple of weeks of them registering the product. One of the things that I'm really excited about at Power Reviews is we believe that there's opportunity really to innovate around that email solicitation, making sure that you're asking for you know, the reviews on the products that you need reviews most for. So, you know, if you already have 150 reviews, you may not need, it's not going to be as important, although it's still important to collect more reviews on that product. But if you have 150, it's less important to collect that 150 first as it is to collect the first review maybe on the other item that the customer purchased. So, again, if you sell direct, you know who's making a purchase, and, you know, send an email to those customers. If you don't sell direct as a brand, you know, it sometimes is hard to know who's making the purchases, and you don't have that direct access. And so that's where Registria comes in, and you know, customers registering their products. That's the same thing as if they bought directly from you. You know what they purchased and who purchased it, and now you can reach out and ask them to write a review. So that's what we mean when we say, you know, a product registration, someone who's registering the product they just purchased with the brand, and that's what Registria helps with. So I think, you know, Natalie, those are the number one ways to collect the most content. The other items, you know, ways that I had shared, I think they're critical to kind of round out the program. But if you're not doing the email correctly and as efficiently and following the best practices, you're really missing out a lot.
Thanks, Matt. Another one that came in, I think, Matt, you mentioned a little bit about it, but maybe Dave can go over this. But the question that came in was, will you please explain what is meant by product registration?
Yeah, I think Matt did mostly answer it there, but essentially that's just the end consumer basically volunteering their information with that company, right? So when I register a new product that I bought, I'm giving you my name, my address. I may be doing it just because I want to sign up for some sort of insider club, or I want to make sure you have my warranty information, or maybe I do want to actively receive future marketing messages for you or from you. So that is how I would define product registration. Matt, I don't know if you want to expand on what you said earlier or not.
Nope, I think you nailed it. So, you know, I think that's what it's meant.
Thank you. The next one that we're going to take is, which ratings and reviews initiatives has the highest impact on conversion? Matt, I think that would be a great one for you to answer.
Yeah, so I think, you know, the highest impact, I mean, it depends, again, who you are. So if you sell direct, I mean, you're going to have the most impact by displaying your product reviews on your product page. And you want to make sure that it's displayed what we call above the fold. So the star rating is, you know, near the add to cart button. You want to make sure that it's not behind a tab is a preferred practice. You want to make sure that that content is crawlable from an SEO perspective so that you're benefiting from all of that great review user-generated content. And so that's going to have the highest impact if you sell direct. Now, if you don't sell direct, it's great to collect product reviews for internal purposes, you know, to understand, you know, how the product is performing, making sure that the product developers and, you know, marketers really understand the sentiment that is, you know, that comes from the reviews. And Power Reviews helps through our reporting and analytics engine surface that great information. For brands, as we said before, shoppers come to brands to either you know, a little bit less of coming as the initial source for product information. They might go to their trusted retailer first, but they go to brands to validate that. And so you want to make sure that that content is on your PDP pages. But again, if you don't sell direct, you sell through a retail channel, as a brand, you also want to make sure that that content you've helped collect is on your retailer sites. And so Power Reviews, as part of the Open Syndication Network, you know, we can help you syndicate your review content to all the major retailers in the world, and help you really drive additional conversion through those retailers by syndicating that content.
Thanks, Nat. We have a couple more questions that came in that we're going to take, and they're based on reviews. So let's take this one. How do you handle negative reviews?
Well, you know, negative reviews, it's, you know, historically, I think that people, you know, some of our customers have been concerned about negative reviews, and I think it's a valid concern. But let me kind of give you a couple perspectives. We know, and there's many studies that show that you have to make sure that your content is authentic and trusted. And the number one way, in addition to Power Reviews, who has fraud detection and other key technologies that are helping, you know, limit fraudulent content, but the number one way that you can make sure that your content is authentic and trusted is that you display all reviews collected. And there are going to be negative reviews. And so the first thing is make sure you're displaying them. But the way that you kind of navigate through and kind of turn a negative into a positive, there's a couple ways. One is our technology allows you to respond to reviews so that that response is in line with the review itself. So let's say, for example, as a retailer, you may have a certain satisfaction guarantee. Well, putting that in next to the review saying, we're sorry you had this experience. As a reminder, we have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Please, you know, feel free to reach out to us. Or we've made some changes to this product, and we've heard your feedback, and we've improved it. So that's one thing is responding within the review. Second thing would be potentially just responding directly to the customer. So you know who wrote that review, calling up that customer and doing a little surprise and delight. You know, we're sorry you had a negative experience, and how can we take care of you? But the final piece, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier as far as helping you generate the most content, it is critical that you're asking your customers to write a review. If you don't ask, it actually does tend to have an impact in such a way that you will have slightly more negative total reviews than you would otherwise. So what do I mean by that? If someone is completely dissatisfied, they're very likely to go to your site and write a review. If someone is kind of, they would give it a 4 rating, you know, they may not come into your site and write that review unless prompted by an email. And if someone loves it, you know, they might be more inclined. So the point is, you want to send an email asking all past purchasers to come back and write a review, and that is going to just improve the amount of reviews and kind of give a better sense of what the rating really should be, if that makes sense.
Thanks, Nat. Thanks to everyone who submitted questions today. Any questions that were submitted that we didn't answer, we'll get to them we'll email you with that. As a reminder, you'll get an email within the next few days with a link to today's event so that you can review any materials you missed or simply want to go over again. Thank you all for attending our webinar, and a big thank you to Dave and Matt on behalf of Registria and Power Reviews. Thank you for joining us for this webinar, and we wish you all a great day.